Alright guys, how are you? Welcome into another episode of Around the ICC European Edition with me, Kevin Egan. And this week I'm going to recap a bonkers weekend over in Europe where Luis Suarez gave us a good old laugh. I'm going to introduce a new segment where I grade American players' performances across the pond. And a question for you. Who's the best goalkeeper in the world? Alright, hold that thought. Now, who's the best goalkeeper of all time? Is it still the same player? We'll discuss that and more, starting right now. Let's kick off with the Premier League, where champions Liverpool continue to look like champions. A beautiful performance against Arsenal, disciplined defensively, continuing to catch Aubameyang and co offside. Then up the other end, a ruthless performance. Sadio Mane in particular, oh what a player he is, top class from Mane, and then Diogo Jota gets his first goal for his new club. So Liverpool motoring in the right direction yet again. The same cannot be said for Manchester City, who have lots of problems, shipping 5 at home against Leicester, where Jamie Vardy had himself an absolute party. Now, it's the first time in 686 games that a side managed by Guardiola has conceded 5 goals, and Vardy became the first player to score 2 hat-tricks against a Guardiola-led team. That is amazing. Massive credit to Brendan Rodgers. Now, Man United were brutal and somehow snatched a winner after the final whistle. That's right, the game had ended, but the video assistant referee flagged a handball offence. The referee awarded the penalty, and Bruno Fernandes did what he does best. He tucked it home from 12 yards, getting Manchester United out of jail. Don't ask Jose Mourinho about late handballs. Spurs conceding deep in stoppage time to draw 1-1 with the Magpies. Where to start over in La Liga? I know. Atletico Madrid, one of the best 20-minute performances by a substitute that I can remember, and it happened to be his debut. Luis Suarez take an absolute bow. You're still unbelievable. Stop writing the obituary, folks. Suarez has an awful lot to offer. His first touch, a sublime assist. He scored not 1 but 2. He won a penalty which was eventually ruled off, but it was his presence, it was his movement, it was his absolute intelligence for me that stood out. What a ridiculously smart footballer he is. Joao Felix was also ridiculously good, and Atleti ripped Granada apart. And before you start saying, it was only Granada, remember, they were top of the table before kickoff. Now to Real Madrid, a complete mystery for me this season. Zinedine Zidane has used 17 players in 2 La Liga games so far. Now Zizou shocked us all when he dropped Rodrigo and Vinicius and went with a 4-4-2 diamond, with Luka Jovic getting a rare start. The back 4 is predictable, but after that, your guess is as good as mine. Or Benzema's, because he's going to play. Los Blancos have a massive squad, and Zidane is clearly tinkering to figure out his best system, and he's obviously keen to get the very best out of Martin Odegaard. So a comeback win at Betis brought their first win of the season, but as for what's next, haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Over to Barcelona, where it didn't really seem like Messi dependencia was as strong a theme as it usually is. 17-year-old sensation Ansu Fati, I love you. He plays well beyond his years. He's never fazed by the occasions or his teammates, and his finishing for both goals, so impressive. After the game, Villarreal manager Unai Emery asked his fans for forgiveness. Only one team in this one, and the Ronald Koeman era off to an absolute flyer, and it was good to see Messi scoring and of course smiling again. ICC memories, Leo Messi the subject for us this week, and on an epic night in Miami we brought you an El Clasico USA style, and it took Messi less than 3 minutes to tear that Los Blancos defence to shreds. Messi at his very best, as were both teams on the night, to be fair. End-to-end thrilling action, with Barca winning 3-2 in a thriller, Gerard Piqué snatching the winner. Over in Italy, and all eyes were on Roma and Juve, and a chance to see if Pirlo's new look side are really as good as they looked in match week 1. Not the case, and the elegant gaffer said as much after, saying it was a step back for his side. 2-2 the final score in this one, with braces for Jordan Veretout and Cristiano Ronaldo. Napoli put on an offensive clinic in their game, routing Genoa 6-0, with Chucky Lozano in the 11 and bagging 2. The key for me in this team, Victor Osimhen up front, a willing runner, freeing up spaces for Mertens, Lozano and Insigne in behind. Napoli looking really good under Gattuso. Zlatan may have COVID, but it hasn't stopped Milan winning. Pioli's men only know how to win these days. A 2-0 result in their favour away against Crotone, and their neighbours left it very late. Inter just love a bit of drama, don't they? 3-2 down against a brilliant Fiorentina side in the 87th minute, and they somehow win 4-3 thanks to Lukaku and D'Ambrosio. A wild game, as was Atalanta's 4-2 win at Torino. Imagine some folks out there actually going and having the nerve to say that Serie A is boring. No, not the case. Now, if I would have said to you that Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund would be outside of the European places after the opening 2 games, you would have said I was absolutely bonkers. But that's the reality. Hoffenheim hitting 4 past Manuel Neuer, and Dortmund's deadly attack held scoreless at Augsburg. They're 1-2 in the league now, Augsburg and Hoffenheim. Bayern and Dortmund, they meet Wednesday in the Super Cup. If you like the fact that American players are playing at top clubs over in Europe right now, well, this is the very show for you. Look, we're going to grade each and every week the top performers that are representing the US at those big clubs. This week, a bit of a down week, to be honest with you. Pulisic didn't play, Timothy Weah didn't get off the bench at Lille, Serginho Dest had a little cameo for Ajax, but here we go, 5 through 1. In at number 5 for me is Zach Steffen. Why, you ask? He didn't even play in the Premier League, but he did make his Manchester City debut in the League Cup. So good for you in the 18 as well for the game against Leicester in the Premier League. At 4, Gio Reyna played 90 minutes in a 2-0 loss against Augsburg. I know he lost, guys, but he still created 3 big chances, and he's been linked with Liverpool this week as well. Decent week for Gio Reyna. At 3, Weston McKennie played 58 minutes in a 2-2 draw in Rome against Roma. It wasn't his best performance, but it also wasn't a bad performance by any means at all. Adrian Rabiot received his marching orders in that game. Weston McKennie, keep it up, bud. In at number 2, a 3rd straight start to kick off the new campaign for Tyler Adams at RB Leipzig. Well done, Tyler. 1-1 draw away against Bayer Leverkusen. Not a bad performance or result for you. And in at number 1 for me this week, in our inaugural week of this segment, Josh Sargent. We're going to give you a bit of love here. I thought you played really well. 87 minutes in a 3-1 win for Werder Bremen at Schalke, and you bagged yourself an assist as well. Time for this week's ICC 11, where we pick an all-star team from the weekend that was. And I'm going to Leeds United, Marcelo Bielsa's team to start. In goal, in my 3-4-3, I've got Ilan Meslier. 4 huge saves for Leeds in a 1-0 win at Sheffield United. He's only 20 years of age. What a player he will turn out to be. Seamus Coleman, captain fantastic for Everton. Perfect through 3 games for him. He's been absolutely sensational. Stefan Radu, another captain, this time for Lazio. 2-0 road win at Cagliari. Gerard Piqué, I thought, had a near perfect performance in a clean sheet win for Barcelona. To the flanks we go. Chucky Lozano, brace for Napoli in a 6-0 victory. Great to see Chucky Lozano scoring. Jordan Veretout scored both in a sublime game he had against Juventus for Roma. Frank Kessie ran the show for Milan against Crotone, scored from the spot as well. And Mikel Merino had 2 assists, a man-of-the-match performance, I thought, for Real Sociedad, winning on their travels. Ansu Fati goes up front. Wow! 17 years of age, a brace for Barca, picking up those similar positions to Leo Messi. And just as Messi was about to strike early on in the game, it was Fati that put the ball in the back of the net. Love this young player. Jamie Vardy, hat-trick at Manchester City. You having a laugh? And Luis Suarez, a brace in 20 minutes. Luis Suarez has now scored more goals this season for Atletico Madrid than Eden Hazard did all last season for Real Madrid. Yep. There's zero doubt about it. We are in the midst right now of a golden era for goalkeepers within our game. But who's the best? I'm not so sure, but I've put together my power rankings for this week, and it may disappoint you or you may love it, but either way I'd love your thoughts. In at number 5 for me right now, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. 87% pass completion last season, and I know he's a goalkeeper and it's not a big deal, but he plays out of the back probably better than anyone else in the world right now, and he's a fantastic shot stopper, good in the air. Ter Stegen in at number 5. At 4 for me, Keylor Navas. PSG had the best defence in the Champions League all last season, excellent in Ligue 1 too, and I just love the guy. He should never have left Real Madrid. Shame on you, Florentino Perez. In at number 3, Manuel Neuer. Incredible. And look back to his best. A beast for Hansi Flick's Bayern machine in both the Champions League and the Bundesliga. It's brilliant, and I love seeing Neuer back to playing at his very best or close to that. At number 2, here we go. Alisson. I know a lot of you think he's the best. I think he's absolutely excellent at everything. Every single category Alisson excels at. Good in the air, excellent with his feet. Here's the truth though. There's no keeper in the world that's tougher to pass than Jan Oblak. He's 27. He recently became the fastest goalkeeper in La Liga history to reach 100 clean sheets, and that was 100 from 182 league games. Oblactopus, you're unbelievable. I love you. And for me, you're my number 1 in the world today. So no Courtois, no Ederson, no De Gea, no Handanovic, and no Kepa. Anyway, how about best goalkeepers all time? Well, to be fair, I'm too young to be breaking down Lev Yashin or Gordon Banks or Dino Zoff's game. So here's the best 5 of my lifetime, aged 30 or over. At number 5, Peter Schmeichel for me. Champions League winner in '99 in that epic final. 5 Premier League titles with Manchester United. He had a 42% clean sheet rate in his Premier League history. He won the 1992 Euros as well. At 4, Iker Casillas, most clean sheets ever in the Champions League. 725 games for Real Madrid, 167 for Spain. Absolute legend, Iker Casillas. At 3 is Oliver Kahn, the man I'd be afraid of if I was walking down the road and he was passing me. Just so angry, always communicating so much in goal. The only keeper to win a golden ball at a World Cup. There's a stat for you. Manuel Neuer takes my spot in at number 2. Revolutionised the goalkeeping position in so many ways. A World Cup champion, 2 Champions Leagues. But my number 1 in my lifetime is Gigi Buffon. Talk about consistency. He's 42 years of age and he's still playing with Juventus. He has played in 5 different World Cups, or at least attended 5 different World Cups at that. He conceded just twice during the tournament when Italy won back in 2006. And for me, he's number 1. Alright guys, before we let you go, let me tell you that we've launched the WICC Best 11 today, an annual recognition of the athletes, executives, journalists and coaches who are doing the most to advance the women's game. This new initiative is the latest addition to Relevant Sports Group's growing women's ICC platform. The WICC Best 11 will be selected by an advisory board comprised of the following soccer and sports icons: Vera Boquet, Laura Gentile, Nadine Kessler, Heather O'Reilly, Brianna Scurry, Danielle Slayton and Grant Wall. What a list that is. Follow ICC Women on Twitter, on Instagram as well for updates on the Best 11. We absolutely love that. As always, check out internationalchampionscup.com. For me, Kevin Egan, and our classy team, we'll see you next week.